Organizing your fairy tale with setting, characters, problem, and solution. The first part of your fairy tale should be about your setting, so you need to choose your setting. Where will your story happen? Then you need to explain, what does it look like? How does it feel? Is it scary to be there? Or do you feel very comfortable? Is it a very cold place? Or is it very warm? You also need to think about how the problem will happen there. For instance, if somebody is getting lost in your story, maybe choosing the woods would be a great place because it's very easy to get lost in the woods. After you choose the setting for your fairy tale, you need to choose your characters. Who will be in your story? You could have animals, royalty, witches, monsters. It's up to you to use your imagination. The most important thing is that you don't choose too many characters or too few characters. It's always a good idea to have 2 or 3 main characters, and they can either be good or bad, or maybe one of each. Then you might also have some secondary characters along the way. You might have farmers, or shopkeepers, or shoemakers, but they help move the story along. But just remember, don't put 20 or 30 characters in your story. That's going to be too hard to write about. Now that you've chosen your setting and your characters, you need to think about what kind of problem you're going to have in your fairy tale. There are many kinds of problems to choose from, but here are just a few maybe to get you started with thinking. Maybe your character gets lost and needs help to be found. Maybe your character gets captured and needs to escape. Maybe your character lost something and is working very hard to find it. Or maybe your character lost all their possessions and they're very poor and they need help. You need to think about what kind of problem is going to be in your story. It could also be that somebody wants to hurt your character and your character needs protection. What kind of problem will be in your story? Once you've decided on your problem, how is the problem going to be solved? We call that the solution. If your character is lost, maybe your character finds a map and that leads your character home. Maybe another character comes and helps your character find the way home. Maybe your character finds some gold treasure. Maybe your character finds a boat, and that's what helps the character. Or you could use magic to solve the problem. Boy, you could use magic any way you wanted to, because with a snap of your finger or the touch of the wand, the problem could be solved. You need to figure out, how will your problem be solved? Now we're at the very end of your fairy tale. You've chosen a setting and characters. You have an interesting problem and a wonderful solution. At the very end of a fairy tale, usually everyone is very happy because the problem has been solved. So, usually we use language like, everyone lived happily ever after. You don't have to use those exact words, but you need to show the reader that everyone is happy and content at the end of your story.